Well, here we are then for the Hungarian Grand Prix in F1 My Team, and pretty much the halfway stage of the season, round 10. Now, if you guys missed a previous episode at Silverstone, the team's home race, then check it out. I will leave it linked up in the top right hand corner of your screen. It was a good race. I really enjoyed it, and for the first time since I think F1 2019, I was genuinely competitive around there, so it made a nice change. But this weekend we're here at Hungary and we have more upgrades on the car, and things are constantly improving. So after practice we managed to hit all of our practice program targets, so we'll get a few more discounts and upgrades coming soon. Along with that, confirmation this weekend that we do have another minor engine upgrade on the way very soon, heading into the power circuits. Now this weekend we've taken a big step forward. We're neck and neck with Ferrari, but we've taken a big leap and left Alfa Romeo, Alpine and AlphaTauri a little bit in our wake, a little bit behind us, which is good to see. Now this weekend, no rain expected, so dry conditions all the way through, and we can now jump into qualifying, and we're going to see if we can put those new upgrades to good effect. I believe there was a major aerodynamic one, a major chassis one as well, and then I think a durability one possibly. So there are some pretty decent performance upgrades on the car this weekend, so we're going to see how it goes and if we can try and put performance out of the bag. Now on my first qualifying lap I ran a bit wide on the exit of turn 4, I believe that is, and I didn't really get the car under control, so we invalidated. I then went for a cool down lap and went again. You can see this time we didn't make the same mistake, so we're going to push on with the lap here and see where it takes us. Currently we're of course P22 and last place, but based off practice we seem to be very fast this weekend. There is a lot of pace in the car, and it feels like between the upgrades at Silverstone and the upgrades this weekend, we've just turned a corner and we're kind of leaving the midfield behind, and we've moved to the top of the midfield, if that makes sense, and kind of pushing that top 10. So I feel like this weekend after practice I had reasons to feel confident about the car, and I wasn't wrong. You'll see now as we make our way through the final corner. This was my second lap after the error on the previous one. Same set of tyres, we didn't change tyres. Across the line we go P13 and we split the Alpines, which is not bad. So far so good. I went back to the garage and I saw that we were 13th. You know, the cut-off is P16. Giovinazzi is nearly 6 tenths behind. So I thought to myself, you know what, I'm not going to go out, we're safe, I don't need to take a risk and use another set of tyres. And I was right. So we get into Q2, P14, we done it quite comfortably. Arron Barnes, P18, so a slightly better qualifying from him compared to usual. And we now move into Q2. So I went out, fresh set of soft tyres, first run, and admittedly it was a stinker. I got turn 1 all wrong. I outbroke myself, and then I lost the back end halfway through. I tried to keep pushing, but then I made yet another mistake into turn 2, and I just kind of gave up on the lap. I was like, you know what, let's abandon it. Let's cool off and go again. Same thing as Q1. We went for a second push lap once the tyres had recuperated, and this is going to be my first reference time. So here we are making our way through the final corner now. Currently P16 and last, whereas it's going to put us in amongst the shuffle. Bit of oversteer on the final corner. Across the line we go P11, and not too shabby there, less than a tenth off Russell in P9, and we are well and truly in the mix. Now we went again, fresh set of soft tyres. We are going to go for another lap, and I was actually flying on this one. It was a really good lap, but I just ran a bit wide, and unfortunately I invalidated. So again, like we have done throughout this entire qualifying session, we're just going to cool off, let the tyres recuperate, get the ERS charged back up again, and just basically set up another lap. I've got 30 seconds left, so I've got just about enough time to cross the line, and we're going to try and aim for P11 here. That's going to be the target. So let's go for a full lap, and hopefully you guys enjoy it, because it's my last attempt in Q2 to try and maybe get to Q3. And there we go, across the line. Very decent lap, not perfect, there was more time in it. I made a couple of mistakes, which was a bit of a shame because if we look at the gaps, P11 was definitely achievable. You know, Gasly was just a tenth ahead of us and I could have easily done that. You know, at one point I think I was 2 tenths up, so yeah, a bit disappointing that we didn't quite get it, but still, P13, that's absolutely fine for me and I don't mind that one bit. And yeah, decent qualifying. The car seems fast and I feel optimistic that on the alternate strategy we could make something happen in the race tomorrow. So let's jump into it and let's try and see if we can make our way back into the points after 2 races where we didn't score any points whatsoever.
Welcome to Budapest once again for another round of the Formula One World Championship. Historically a good race for first victories with Button, Hill, Alonso and Heikki Kovalainen all reaching the top step of the podium for the first time here. We're northeast of Budapest for the race today at the 2.7 mile Hungaroring circuit. 14 corners here, 8 to the right and 6 to the left, on a track where downforce is king and passing is notoriously difficult. Anthony Davidson, a very warm welcome to you as you join me in the commentary box for today's event. Let's begin by discussing Daniel Ricciardo. That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Perez, Ricciardo, Charles Leclerc and Norris, Vettel, Sainz, Stroll and Pierre Gasly, Verstappen, they've taken a grid penalty, Russell, Martinez and Ocon, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Yuki Tsunoda, Mazepin, Lundgaard, Latifi and Mick Schumacher. And now it's time to head down to the track.
So right now we're on the grid P13 and to be fair there's a lot of potential here today for a strong result and I think we could try and make our way back into the points for the first time in 2 races. Now, in front of us, we have an Alpine to our right. We've got a Red Bull, who I believe has a grid penalty, and an AlphaTauri. So we need to pass the Alpine and the AlphaTauri on track to be the lead car on the alternate tyre strategy. If we can do that, we're going to be looking very good in this race because then we can manage our tyres and manage our pace. I'm expecting the people on softs to box anywhere between lap 6 to lap 9, so we'll see how it goes. Very important to try and keep pace with the top 10, top 8, and make sure we don't lose too much time compared to them. Now, strategy-wise, mediums to start with to try and maintain a good pace, and then hard tyres in the second part of the race. Tyre wear isn't too much of an issue around here. It's all about tyre temperatures. In terms of fuel load, 1 lap is not going to be too much around here. And also, we don't need the extra fuel. So we're going to run 35 exactly on the nose. It is a bit of a funny one for fuel. You know, realistically, you'd assume it'd be quite fuel. Easy to save fuel around here, but it's actually the opposite. It's actually a bit more of a fuel-consuming track. The only good thing is, because it's hard to overtake, fuel saving is quite easy to do. So you can lift and coast without any major issues. So yeah, overall, looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun race. Maybe not the most busy in terms of overtakes, but strategy-wise, it should be quite interesting. So let's jump into it and let's get this rolling. Okay, here we go. Lights are on. We know what to do to get a good start. Let's try and replicate that. 5 lights are on. And we're underway. Ooh, great reaction time. Can I get the traction on mediums? Yes, I can. That'll do. Russell is in the same tyre as us. That's all we need to know. So if we can pass George here, we're going to be in the prime position to be on the alternate strap. And there we go, we've got him. Run him out to dry on the exit. I think Gasly has a fresh set of softs on his car. So yeah, it's not really much of a concern. He's chosen for the softer option. So right now we are the lead car on the opposite strategy, and that's all we need right now. So here we are challenging Sainz into the left-hander. Oh my god, I had to back out of that. That was a bit too much of a squeeze, and Sainz was always going to commit to that corner, so I just had to back off. But this is perfect for us. Now what we've got to do is try and keep pace. If we can keep pace, and you know, I'm talking like keep them within, you know, 5 to 6, 7, 8 seconds, something like that. Don't let them run away, basically. Don't let them get like a full pit stop gap over us, otherwise it will completely eradicate the benefits of the strategy. So we're going to try and push. We're going to see if we can drop the Alpines as well from DRS range. My race pace has always been stronger than my qualifying pace, so that gives me reasons to feel optimistic about us here today. So let's see. Lap 1 though in the books, and so far, so good. Let's try and keep it going. This is perfect. The AI have stopped using their ERS now on lap 3. They usually use up all their battery in the first 2 laps, or the most of it anyway. And right now we've got just over a 1 second gap over George Russell as we look to drop him out of the DRS range and crucially stay within a second of Carlos Sainz if possible here. If we can achieve that, the race is made for us. It's all about, at that point, just trying to keep the pace consistent and making no mistakes. Here we are then entering the detection zone, and we've done it. Crucial. Perfect start to the race so far. Let's keep it going. We now have DRS.
Some information on Russell. They have an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
That's going to help us quite a lot. Just going to cost both Alpine some time, and everyone's just going to drop back right now. Our pace is very strong. I'm just about doing enough to hang on to Carlos here and stay within the 1 second window. That's all we have to do. If we just keep this going, we're going to be looking pretty decent once the pit stops start to come in. And speaking of pit stops, we have our first ones already. End of lap 5, earlier than I expected. Oh, that was a bit of a snap. That's just Norris in for now. Nobody else. I'm expecting more people in this lap though. Okay, now we're getting a few cars in the pits as we complete one of the challenges for the podium pass. They just started to pick up their pace in this lap, which meant they're usually on an in lap as we set a personal best by about 2.5 tenths, nearly 3 tenths now. So the rest of the cars will pit at the end of this lap. George Russell's car issues have really helped us out. The Alpines lost about 4 more seconds, so the gap is like 7.8 now. So yeah, we're looking very good in this race. All we've got to do is keep it going. I'm struggling a little bit on the rears. I keep oversteering and spinning the rears out of corners, but if I can manage that and keep my rears under control, we're going to look pretty decent in this race. And there we go, remaining cars in at the end of lap 8, and that should do it. So we're going to take the race lead, and we're going to get to lead a few laps of this race. The leaders right now are stuck in traffic, which is exactly what we want in this strategy. So they're going to be trapped behind the Alpines, for example, and the Alfa Romeos as well. So we're looking pretty good. I think out of the lead pack though, Bottas and Perez seem to have got away. The rest of them though are stuck in traffic, I think. Or I might be wrong. Okay, there we go. So as expected, yeah, both Alpines, both Alphas holding up the traffic right now. So let's keep driving away, man. Our pace is great, so let's keep doing nothing. Well, okay, my ERS has gone offline. I don't have ERS right now. I've had a failure. Luckily, the pace is still pretty good. I'm very strong around here, but you can see I'm pressing the button. Nothing's happening, so we're out of ERS for the time being. And I think we're back online. My MFD just popped up. There we go. It's just a momentary failure there. Who knows if we'll get any more of this race. So Hamilton has now passed Tsunoda for P5, and this is the situation as it stands. Lewis on the hard tyre. He's going to the end. Gap is 16 seconds. Now he's stuck in traffic. If we can push that gap...
Okay, some information on Raikkonen. They have some kind of mechanical problem.
And that might help, but if we can push that gap to like 25 seconds, we can pit and rejoin ahead of Lewis, and that would put us in the net race lead in this race. So we've got a challenge to aim for now. Let's try and push. Yellow flag, end of sector 2. I think Barnes has pulled over. Will we get a safety car? Oh, again, will we not see a safety car for yet another race? Looks like we're not going to get one, which is fine. I don't mind. Cool. I'm overheating my medium tyres. Pushing a bit too much there on the left rear, leaning on it a little bit too much. Gonna have to rein it in a little bit just to get that temperature down. Was on 106, which is insane. Okay, here we are then. Time for the in lap. I'm matching my personal best. I'm trying to squeeze everything out of these tyres. We're going to box for a set of hards. It's going to be close, I think. We'll be somewhere between or around Bottas and Perez. So I'm just trying to nurse this pit entry. Slow it down. There we go. Right, let's see. I'm pretty confident if this is a sub 2 second stop, we could challenge Bottas here. And we could be just in front of him. But this has to be perfect. Let's see. Come on, boys. Please deliver a good stop. We need this. Alright, slow. 3 second stop. I think we're going to be okay though, actually.
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
Bit of a wheel spin out the pits on purpose to fire up the rear tyres, and there we go. We're ahead of Bottas just by less than a second. So even with a slow stop, we still made it. But right now we are net P2 in this race, and we've got much fresher hard tyres compared to everyone around us right now. So we can hold on to this, and I think we could be on for a podium, and that would be a massive result for us after the last 2 races to bounce back. Exactly what we need, especially heading into the off-season and to the driver market. Let's focus though, try and find some pace and see if we can pull away from Bottas maybe. Purple sector 3. Gap to Bottas 9/10. I think we can drop him here. And I think we may have pace to catch Lewis. Could we win this? Surely not. I don't think we can, but you never know. We'll give it a crack. There we go, job done. We've dropped Bottas. Personal best 15.0. The gap to Hamilton though not really coming down, so we'll see how that gets on. But crucial, let's try and solidify the 2nd place. Right now we're looking very good in this race. Another personal best. Purple sector 3, not quite enough. I was pushing for a fastest lap there, but it seems like whatever Perez did seemed to be pretty quick. But we're still running at a good pace. The race will come to us as the AI start to struggle on their hard tyres later on, so let's just try and keep this going. Whoa. Whoa. Breathe. Calm. That was unnecessary. Let's just relax. Yellow flag.
Be aware, there's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags.
Can be Raikkonen out of the race for Alfa Romeo. Again though, no safety car. Interesting. I'm going to have to double check after the race to see if I've got it on or not, because... or maybe it's bugged out like on last year's game. Who knows, but...
Okay, clear.
I literally do not get safety cars anymore, man. This is a big lap right now. This could be it for the fastest lap. I've just gone back to kind of under-driving the car rather than over-driving it. And that seems to have worked. I'm not pushing so much. I'm driving a bit more relaxed. And there we go. 14.7. Will we get the point? I'm not sure, but still 2nd place and a point would be really nice if we could bring that back. Hamilton takes away the lap. There we go. He's starting to push now. Never mind. To be expected. Let's bring this one home. 2 laps left. I'll happily take a 2nd place finish. I'm pushing right now to see if I can get my fastest lap back. Gonna have to concentrate in this final sector, but Hamilton's gonna win. Will he improve even more? We'll find out shortly. I'm pushing. 14.2, that's gonna be quite hard to beat, to be honest. Final corner though, it's gonna be a podium and a return to the points for us, which I'm very happy about. Personal best, not quite enough.
Nice work, you did well today. I think the boss will be happy with that one.
The Mercedes team pulled out a fantastic performance today. They should be proud. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection, a shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
Well, there we go then. Job done for us and a great day at the office here today. Lewis Hamilton picks up a big win and fastest lap, which means a lot for him in the World Championship. We finished in 2nd place, splitting the Mercedes. Bottas P3 in the 2nd car, Sergio Perez P4 for Red Bull, and the first of the McLarens, Daniel Ricciardo P5. So McLaren having a bit of an off weekend here today and struggling for pace. Lando Norris down in P11 as well, which is quite surprising. Running at the point scorers, we have Leclerc, Stroll, Sainz, Verstappen, Vettel, and then Verstappen in P10. And then along with Lando at the points, we have Gasly, Ocon, Tsunoda, Russell, Giovinazzi, Lundgaard, Latifi, Schumacher, Mazepin, and then Raikkonen and Barnes out of the race. So after that race, we're now going to look at the Drivers' Championship, and a few things are going to shuffle around because we've scored some big points here this weekend. So we move up to P5, we overtake Verstappen by a point, and we increase our gap over Sebastian Vettel. Hamilton looking pretty good out front, 40 points clear and on course for a 9th World Championship. In the Constructors, we remain in 5th place, we keep our gap to Ferrari, and we're not a million miles away from Aston Martin, and I believe it's time to sign a second driver, so let's move into the menu and let's see if I'm right. Well then, after that race, it's a big one for the rivalry. We outscore Perez by 3 points, and that brings us right back in the mix. We're still 4 points away. It's been a rough couple of races before this one, which meant Perez got a pretty big advantage, but crucially, we're in the mix. We level up to level 13 on driver acclaim, and then also as a team, we'll go up to level 16. So very, very good day today. Lots of positives to take home, and hopefully, fingers crossed, there should be a full payout as well from our sponsors, which gives us an extra 1.2 million. And then the question is, how many damages do we have? Nothing on our end, 22k on Arron Barnes' side. So a great weekend and plenty more money in the cash pot. Now we're back in the office, and activities wise we don't have a lot of time, so I've just gone ahead and done a driver promotion filming. We don't have really much to do here or options to have. We've got a press interview and a season break coming up. Also, we get a extra 200 R&D points after the ERS failure as well, and a cheeky little let's say grammatical error there where it says we have received, but with the I before the E. But yeah, we get an extra 200 points there, which is awesome. We're going to jump into an interview, but first of all, we've got 2,700 R&D points to spend, so we're going to go ahead and look at some big upgrades moving forward. So on the aerodynamics, I feel like we can definitely work on some front and rear downfalls. So we're going to go for the rear end plates. We're going to get those on straight away. That's 42 days. We're also going to add to that some front wing end plates as well. So we're going to keep the development balance, but you can see that's going to move us up into the top 4 of the aerodynamics as well. These are scheduled to arrive after the summer break, so we're going to put a lot of faith in these upgrades to hopefully help us out. Now, we've also got the interview, so let's jump into it and let's see what Will Buxton has to say.
Well, it's great to be back at your headquarters, and I've got to say, an awful lot's changed since we were last here. Let's dive in with some questions. We've been hearing rumours your teammates struggling to cope with the workload at the moment. Is there a worry that this could start to impact their performance?
I mean, it's a tricky one to say, but ultimately I think everyone's working hard and no one in the team is immune to that.
We've been going over your financials, and it seems like your team is holding on to a lot of cash. Is there a reason for that?
We've got a few things lined up our sleeve. You'll be seeing something soon. But we do want to work on the, facilities of the car. I feel like the chassis could be a key area for us in the rest of the season, so I definitely want to look at that.
It's always tough to stay on the cutting edge of technology. Will you be updating your facilities in the near future?
Yeah, as I mentioned, we're going to do some facility work, but also possibly some aerodynamic work as well.
It's been wonderful to spend some time with you. Best of luck out on track.
And there we are, job done, season break awaits, and we'll pick up where we left off in the next episode. And I believe we should have the opportunity to sign a new driver if I'm not mistaken, so very much looking forward to that. But guys, if you enjoyed today's episode, then feel free to leave a like, it really helps me out. Let's try and smash over 1,200 likes for that podium finish. Subscribe for more daily F1 content on my channel, guys, and hopefully you enjoy what's going out right now. As always, check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them, and I'll see you guys in my next one very soon. Until then, take care, and let's goodbye from me.